fret job or refret, when you should choose one over the other, and how these things work. Let's talk about that. Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome to my shop. So recently I've been uploading only ASMR-ish kind of videos of me working but not talking. And that is because being a luthier is my everyday job, and because I already have an Italian YouTube channel on the same topics. I have very little time to create new contents every week for this channel, but I still try to do it, and these kind of videos are quite easy to make and help me reach my goal of one video per week without too much stress. Anyway, it seems like you guys are enjoying this kind of videos, especially in the short version of them, and I would like to thank you for your beautiful comments. It really means a lot to me. To be totally honest with you guys, I feel kind of bad because there are tons of videos like this with people doing stuff but explaining nothing, and this is not the kind of video I would like to share with you. I try my best to make self-explanatory videos, but I can see from the comments that there are some stuff that needs more explanation. In today's video, I would like to go more in depth on the topic fret job versus refret. First of all, I'm sure that if you're watching my videos, you have seen a lot of similar stuff where other luthiers like myself are doing a crazy amount of refrets. But if you watch my videos, you know that I only did one refret, but many fret job. So many people ask me, Andrew, why you are doing just a fret job instead of a full refret? Well, just because you keep seeing videos of refrets, it doesn't necessarily mean that every guitar needs one. In fact, of all the guitars that need some kind of work on their fretboard, the ones that really needs a refret are between 5 and 10% of them. So why you keep seeing videos of refret after refret after refret? Well, that's probably because it looks kind of cool and it's working in terms of views. So I want you to understand that if you notice that your frets are wearing out, it doesn't mean that you need to replace them. You can perfectly restore the frets on your guitar several times before a refret becomes really necessary. Maybe you don't like the frets on your guitar and you want to change them. Well, no problem with that at all, but that is a whole different story. And this brings us to the second question, which is why you don't glue the frets. Well, the answer is that if you're doing this kind of job properly, there is no reason to glue anything. Of course, sometimes you might need to put a little bit of glue on some frets because refret after refret, the seats of the frets are going to gradually wear out, preventing the new frets to perfectly adhere on the fretboard. But that becomes necessary only on some spots of some frets, not on the whole fretboard. Also, cyano acrylate glues are irritating, and if you use them, it means more work to remove all the excess. Doesn't really make any sense if you didn't really need to use them in the first place. The third question is why you don't use soldering wire on the frets before pulling them off. Well, that is because it is simply a no sense. It's a waste of time, a waste of soldering wire, and also harmful for your lungs if you're inhaling that stuff every day for years. Please don't do that. Just use your soldering iron to heat up the fret that will heat up the surrounding wood, making it more soft and less likely to crack or chip. The heat will also help if some frets are glued, but let me tell you this, the frets on your guitar, Fender, Gibson, Ibanez, you name it, they are not glued. The fourth question is, Andrew, why you don't mark the frets with a marker before doing a fret job? The answer is I did. I did it 16 years ago when I was learning how to do this kind of stuff. I simply don't do it anymore because with the right light there is absolutely no need to use a marker. When you are leveling the fretboard, you will see the frets becoming matte where they have been sanded. And you have to keep sanding until every single fret has been sanded throughout its length. Also because they have become flat, they reflect the light differently. The same goes for crowning the frets. You know you have to keep filing the frets until they become shiny again, and that means they are no more flat but round. But hey, this works for me. If you feel more comfortable using a marker, I have zero problem with that. Of course, crowning the frets will leave a lot of tiny scratches, and this brings us to the fifth and final question. Why you don't buff the frets? Well, actually, I do buff them from time to time, especially if my customer asks for an extra shiny final result. As for the glue, the soldering wire and the marker, buffing the fretboard is not necessary. Let me be clear, I'm not saying that buffing the fretboard is wrong and you should not do it. Of course you can. I myself do it, as I just said. But when you're sanding off the scratches left by the crowning file, if you use the right sanding paper, you will reach almost, if not the same smoothness and shine. I usually start with 800 grit, then 1200, to finish with 1500 grit. At this point, the abrasive paste that you are going to use with the buffer is going to do barely nothing but bring a little bit more of shine. That's it, guys. I hope you have found this information useful, and if you have any further question, leave it in the comments down below. Also remember that if your way of doing these things is working really good for you, go on with it. I just hope to give you a different perspective and maybe give you some advices to do this kind of stuff faster and hopefully better. Take care, guys, and see you on the next one.